Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting Radio, your station for empowerment, music, and talk radio. EB Radio presents Empower Hour with Jaresha, a show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The Empower Hour with Jaresha begins now.
Good day, amazing people. How is it going? Welcome and welcome back to Empower Hour with Jaresha. It's always another amazing Wednesday, Thursday. It doesn't matter what day of the week. It is an amazing day simply because we are here. We have another opportunity to be great, do great, have great. And let me tell you, while I'm talking about doing, great, having great and being great, I need you to understand and know that you have the power to be great, have great, and do great. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. On this show, I speak with leaders, motivators, and influencers who want to come on the show and simply share their stories, share their message, share their voice, share their journeys to empower the world for growth and success. So, if you're listening right now and maybe you're saying, you know what, I'm a leader, I'm a motivator, and I'm an influencer, or maybe you say that I'm a motivator, I'm a leader, I would love to have you as a guest on the show. You need to be able to share your story, share your journey on this platform. And with that being said, let me just tell you that the upcoming guests that I have lined up for you, you are definitely going to be in for a treat. I'm extremely excited because one of the things that I enjoy doing is networking and connecting with people everywhere from all states, be it virtual, whether it's in person, at events. I love connecting with people. And I even enjoy the not just a connection, but being able to know that I have a platform, a show that allows someone to come on and share their stories with the world. I truly believe there is power in your story. There is power in your journey. There is power in your message, and it definitely needs to be shared. So if you're looking or wanting to be a guest, please reach out. You can contact info at empoweronpurpose.com and we will definitely reach out. Or you're more than welcome to actually reach out through Envision Broadcasting as well. Someone will reach out to you to make sure you have the details on how you can get on this show and share your message, share your journey, share your story with the world. Now, let me tell you, because this is kind of a special show to me. And I say it's special because I am in the process of celebrating turning another year old. And so it's a special occasion. I don't know how you feel about your birthday, but it's a big deal because the fact that when I just think about, again, going back to what I said from the very beginning, you are here. You woke up this morning. And so that means you get another opportunity. And so I do not take having another birthday, being able to celebrate another birthday, I don't take it lightly. I really, truly enjoy my birthday and being able to celebrate it. And as I look at, myself getting older, my children getting older, and I say I'm getting wiser and how things are changing, I just can't help but to stop and say, thank you, thank you, thank you, God, for the blessing of seeing another year. So I'm truly grateful, truly blessed. And if you have been following the show, you heard me talk about how last year I was walking into my next chapter, which then it was chapter 44. I have no problem with sharing what chapter I'm in. Then it was chapter 44, and how I was really embracing this idea of becoming her and what that looked like for me. And first, defining what becoming her meant, and how each day I was going to be intentional about becoming her. And so I'm extremely excited because I get to share my reflection with you in hopes that if you are celebrating a birthday up and coming, or maybe you've already celebrated a birthday, that you even still take time to say, you know what, let me reflect. I am a huge advocate of reflection and how important it is, how powerful it is for us. Whether, I mean, in all areas, I was going to say, whether you're looking at it from a personal, from a business standpoint, the power of taking a pause, the power of reflecting, it just, oh my goodness, there's so many things that you understand, you realize, um, just as I'm thinking about the fact that um, I am returning back from a conference and traveling and connecting. And when we go to these things, we have to actually schedule in time for reflection. And so again, whether you're celebrating a birthday, so maybe you're celebrating a birthday like I am, or you have an upcoming birthday, or you've already celebrated, take that time to pause, take that time to reflect. So as I was looking at this reflection and how I have learned so much over the course of the year, the months, so many lessons, right? So many lessons that we learn, so many things that I just, it's like you have to stop and think and be like, wow, wow. It's those aha moments, right? It's those aha moments that we have that come into to our lives that stops us dead in our tracks. And so I've had many of those moments. There's been many opportunities where I have that I have those days where I'm like, you know what, I get to really walk into really being intentional today and what becoming her looks like. And then there are other days where I'm like, you know what, this becoming her thing. I know I'm supposed to be the highest version of myself in this situation, but my goodness, how do you become the highest version of yourself when you are faced with all kinds of challenges and all kinds of things? And so if we can really, I always say, if we can just be real, if we can really get, be honest with ourselves, because I'm going to be completely transparent and honest with you that this chapter 44 for me has been filled with ups and downs. It's been a whole entire roller coaster road. And I don't like roller coasters. So let's just be clear on that. I don't care for roller coasters. I don't want to go up and down, but that's a part of life. And so that is a part of me saying, I am going to walk into becoming her and what that looks like, and really defining what that looks like and how I can show up and then ask those questions when I'm in the midst of that storm, that challenge, whatever it may be pulling at me, and saying, is this an opportunity for me really to step into becoming her in the highest version of Jaresha in this moment? How would I handle this situation at that level of becoming her that I truly want to be? So when I tell you, it's been many, 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 many opportunities for me to really look back at it and say, you know what, I handled that pretty well. I it really could have been a challenging situation for me where I could have totally went a different way or said something that could have been hurtful, but I handled the situation in a way that I can be proud of. And ultimately I feel like that is the key. When we look at things that come into our lives, how are we going to respond to it? How have we respond to it? And so that was a big part of my chapter 44, is how am I going to respond to this? situation? How am I going to respond to this business move? How am I going to respond to this business challenge? How am I going to respond to having so much on my plate that sometimes we feel overwhelmed? How am I going to respond to this? How can I respond to it? And then looking back at it and say, how did I handle that? Did I handle that at this level of being the best version of me? Or could I have handled it better? So it has been one um one roller coaster, one roller coaster after the next. But I'll tell you this, as I've been reflecting, I wouldn't change my response and how I've reacted to some of the situations and circumstances that has occurred over the course of the year. Now, mind you, we definitely want things to always, we want to have the best, businesses. We want things to run smoothly, but that's not always the case. And I'm not saying we have to necessarily just always set ourselves up to fact. I mean, if of this thought process that there's going to be a disappointment, but we certainly have to make sure that when things come up that we have planned and we know how we're going to respond to it, and we don't let it just completely knock us off track and steal our joy. So as I've been reflecting and really walking into this thing of becoming her, it has been the most rewarding experience for me. So rewarding that I have decided that as and let me just say this, because I really thought through this thing. I'm like, okay, this chapter 44 has been, it's been one heck of a chapter, but I love the fact of becoming her and being intentional about my definition of becoming her and who that is for me as Jaresha. I love that. I'm like, how in the world am I going to top that for chapter 45? And then I had this whole thought process that said, why do you need to top it? Why do you feel like you have to do something that's on an even higher level when that's the level that you are really trying to reach and continue to grow to? So when I look back at my becoming her chapter 44, for me, I can truly say that there have been some amazing growth over the year. And that lets me know that this chapter 44, this idea of becoming her, has been truly successful, even in the midst of the storms, the challenges, the obstacles, all of those things that have come into play, as we know that they do. It has been a successful year for me. Now, by no means, that does not mean that I feel like I am, reached that top level. No, I feel like it's like a stairs. I'm steady climbing those stairs, steady going up to the next level and the next level and the next level. And so while I'm stepping down into this amazing, fabulous, fearless chapter 45, I am still celebrating. I am still on this journey of becoming her. It has, it just, I'll tell you, I have just changed up what the becoming her looks like for me for this next chapter. That is all I have done. So let's jump into it because I can talk about this for hours upon hours, especially when I feel like it's such an amazing experience and it has empowered me. And I truly hope that it empowers you as well as I share with you a few points that really stuck out to me over the course of this year and really just walking into this highest version of Jaresha and how I'm going to continue walking in that thing and how I'm going to continue being intentional. But let's back up a little bit because I definitely want to share some of the lessons that I've learned and how if I had to really identify a few different points. And I'm just going to give a few points and then I'll go into some of the lessons. I would truly say one of the key points that I just mentioned is how it has been very, very important for me to really reflect on my growth. So, looking at the growth that I've had. So I haven't waited until, a whole year and say, you know what, now I'm going to sit down and reflect. No, there has been opportunities for me to sit down every single month, every week to really reflect on the growth and the things that I'm doing that is good, that is working, and the things that I need to change, those things that we need to change to eliminate the distractions and all of that. That has definitely been a part of the inner workings of this becoming her journey for me. And so becoming her for me, it wasn't just a journey of my personal life. It has been a journey of my business, my professional life. So all areas of my life that it has impacted. And so that first key point is really reflecting on the growth. And so there have been so many transformative moments and growth experiences that has shaped my journey leading up to this chapter 45 that I'm celebrating. And when I tell you, I am truly just celebrating. I'm excited, and I really hope you can hear the excitement in my voice because I'm so grateful. I'm so thankful. But I'm going to give you 10 lessons that I have truly learned just over the course of certainly I say over the course of the year, but it goes way far beyond that year. But there have been those moments where, it's like those aha moments and those experiences that I'm like, oh, this is a growth moment. This is a moment that I can definitely grow. This is a becoming her moment. So, one of the lessons that I truly have learned is how it is so important to be resilient. Now, as an entrepreneur, business owner, I've learned that setbacks, mm, can we say setbacks? And I hate to, I don't really like to say setbacks, but we have to identify them and really call them out. Setbacks are inevitable. So it's not about avoiding failure, but how you bounce back from it. And so that has been so key, and not just in my entrepreneur journey, but those that I'm connected to, and how we are just, locking arms and saying, you know what, girl, I'm here for you. You know what? I am here for you because I get it. I understand, and I'm here to support you. And so I'll talk about that a little bit as well. But that lesson, that resilience, oh, that is such a key. It's a powerful key. And then I can't say this. I can't, I can't even. I'm not even going to pretend that in this world there haven't been many different people that's not as supportive, that as entrepreneurs, and not even just as entrepreneurs but in the business world, or personal world, you deal with people that betray you, right? And so we know that trust is such a precious commodity, especially in this entrepreneurial business world. And so I have learned the hard way that not everyone has your best interests at heart. And so, it's one of those things that even though I'm a genuine person, not everyone is genuine. And so we have to surround ourselves with those who uplift and support us and stay true to our values. I just recently had a conversation with someone, and I was talking about that staying true to your values and how it looks when we're making decisions, as far as from a personal level. But guess what? The values are interchangeable from personal to business. So we have to stay true to our values across the board. So, second lesson is that people will betray you. Third lesson is, my goodness, I've had to really learn that I have to make some tough decisions through the course of this year. You know, I identify as a leader. So I identify myself as a leader. If you don't know, leaders are nothing more but influence, nothing more, nothing less. And so I am a leader. And as a leader, that means being able to make tough decisions, right? Even when it may not be supported by everyone. So, it may be unpopular by people. I've learned that you have to stay true to your vision. And sometimes that means making difficult choices for the greater good of your business. So, I have learned over the course of this becoming her journey, one, resilience is the key. Two, that people are going to betray you. It's just a life thing. And then you have to make tough decisions. The fourth thing is self care. Is It's a non-negotiable thing for me. And I'll tell you that one of the things that with becoming her, I kicked off the whole becoming her. I love the fact that I say I kicked it off. I kicked off the becoming her with a whole day of like a spa treatment and just the whole pamper experience, because I'm like, you know what? I'm getting ready to go into this journey of becoming her. I need to be celebrated, pampered. I need the whole thing. So that's how I kicked it off. And I fastly, I shouldn't say fastly, I quickly, well, I don't know where I got fastly, quickly, quickly realized how important it is to practice that good self care. So, in this entrepreneur world, it is so easy to put yourself on the back burner. And we should not be putting ourselves on the back burner. Now, granted, it's so much sweeter when someone says, you know what, I recognize that you need a spa day. Let me treat you. It's so much sweeter when it comes from someone else. However, we have to be willing to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, you know what, girl, you know what, man, I need to make sure I take care of me. I need to take care of me. And that's taking care of me physically, mentally, emotionally, because it is so crucial for that long term success. So, the fifth lesson that I learned is how we have to adapt. So, oh my goodness, when I tell you over the course of these months, and some months were seem like it longer than others, um, I recognize how much things are evolving, right? So just think about the technology world and how things have evolved and how we have to be willing to adapt to change. Well, as a coach, as having a whole entire broadcasting platform, I have to make sure that we stay on top of what is evolving, what is changing, and that we're constantly, adapting to that change and being flexible and open to those new ideas so that we can stay ahead. So I truly have learned. I've had some hard lessons this year of, during the course of, this becoming her. Oh, it's been some hard lessons, but I tell you what, those hard lessons, I have truly learned that I have to, not just me, my team, the business, we have to stay on top of those things. And then also, we have to learn from our, we have to learn from our failures. And although it has been it's been a great, year from last year to now, but one thing that I've tell you, and not just in myself, how I've seen several businesses fail. And I'm connected to, who were the business owners and how they had to make some really tough decisions. But we have to understand that failure is not the end. It is a stepping stone to growth. And so I've truly learned to really embrace that as a learning opportunity to sit down and analyze what went wrong and use those lessons to improve and then innovate. One of the other lessons that I learned is how important it is to really build um, that support system, that support network. So all last month, I was truly focused on connecting, traveling, networking, and really surrounding myself with mentors, peers, friends, people who truly understand this journey that I'm on, people who can relate and they just get it, right? So I've learned the importance of having a strong support network to lean on, especially during the times when you are dealing with maybe a failure in your business, or you're dealing with having to make a tough decision, or you're dealing with someone that has betrayed you. It is so important to be able to latch on and attach yourself to someone that gets it, that knows, and can truly offer that support and advice for you. One of the other things that I'm almost down to the last couple of lessons, is the power of setting boundaries. Oh my goodness. When I tell you, that is one of the things. I had an aha moment at I think it was a month where there was just so much going on, and I recognized that there were so many boundaries that needed to be set. So I feel like in this world it's easy to to let our work really consume our life, and so I'm not just talking about boundaries that we set to try to maintain and that work life, to manage our work life, I should say, because I don't feel like there's a such thing as balance. So I feel like we have to learn to set boundaries, not just for the work that we're doing and maintaining our lifestyles, but we have to really set boundaries when it comes down to people as well. And so I learned a hard lesson throughout this time of how important it is to set those boundaries, and watch this, not just set the boundaries, but make sure you stick to them. Don't just say it and then, some time pass, a week pass, and then you've changed. You went back to, you've reverted back. No, you have to continue setting those boundaries for yourself and truly, truly, stick to what you're going to say, what you're going to do, stick to it. And so I've learned also on this journey to embrace. And when I say embrace, embrace those imperfections. Now, this is one of the things that has been probably the most challenging for me, because if you know, you just know, um, people out there that are, have a tendency to be perfectionists. I am kind of one of those, but I have really learned a lot, being a part of one, the Maxwell leadership, but also teaching, coaching, training people, and how I had to, let up and not walk into that perfectionism thing, and understanding how and why it prevented me from moving a long time ago. But we have to understand that perfectionism can be a roadblock to progress. And so I learned that several years back, and I can, I can listen. I'm going to tell you that this whole embracing perfect imperfections crept up through the course of the last, several months, and I had to revisit this whole idea of embracing my imperfections and recognize that we're going to make mistakes, and things are not always going to be perfect. Like, we don't want to wait for things to be perfect to move, because it's all a part of the growth process. And so that has been probably the biggest aha thing, aha moment for me, that I have had to embrace. But the last thing that I would mention as far as lessons is, I have not only really embraced this concept, but truly have even poured into others about the importance of, learning to really love yourself. And that goes back to, the self care, as well. We know that we're going to go through ups and downs. I talked about the ups and downs being on the roller coaster, and I have learned the importance of loving and accepting myself where I am on the journey because one or two things are going to happen. Whatever that is, whether it's a business, whatever it's a project, it is going to be successful. It's going to be wildly successful, or it's it's not, and you're going to learn from it. So I have truly learned to embrace the ups and downs of being an entrepreneur, and I've learned how it's so important to just love who you are, accept who you are, where you are on this journey, and know that it's built on this foundation of resilience, confidence, and success. So those were the 10 lessons that I truly felt like has been that those transformative moments for me that's really led up to this chapter 45 that I'm extremely excited to embrace. So that was all a part of the first point, but I can't, end today without mentioning a couple of other things because I truly feel like these have been intertwined as well. And that is really embracing, going back to where I mentioned embracing who you are. So it's something about the power of embracing who you are and that authenticity and being true to you, no matter what age or stage of life you're in. So for me, things have occurred. It's been so many changes over the year. And I know that if I've experienced changes, especially with kids going to, college, and it's just so much that happens in our lives. And we have to be willing to embrace who we are and be true to who we are. And even if that means saying, you know what, I'm not going to try to add all these things to my plate. I'm not going to try to, have all these unrealistic expectations. And I'm going to focus on X, Y, Z. I'm going to focus on these things. I'm going to focus on, this next chapter of becoming her and what that looks like, how I can take one little piece of that every single day and really be intentional every single day of what that means. So that when I look at the next year, turning 46, I can say, wow, I truly have embraced, not just embraced it, but I have accepted, I have walked into it, and I've walked into it even though things have occurred. I have walked into it as the best and highest version of myself. So we really have to be willing to embrace who we are and then also gain that perspective on our life and love and self-worth because when I tell you the valuable lessons that I've learned that I had to reflect. And guess what? If I hadn't made the decision to say, you know what, let me sit down and actually reflect on this past year and the wonderful things that has occurred, the not so wonderful things that has occurred, and how I've grown and how I continue to grow. It's just such an important part of our self-reflection. So as I am really embracing this idea of stepping into the next chapter, I am celebrating the woman I am, the woman I have become, the lessons I've learned, and the strengths that I've discovered within myself. So I hope that as you're listening, you are taking notes and saying, you know what, I want to start this whole journey for myself of becoming. It doesn't have to be a becoming her because it might be a becoming him for you. So, just of becoming and what that looks like to you. I want you to be able to step into your greatness, to own your story, and to embrace your next chapter with passion and with purpose. Because I believe, as I believe for myself, that this is your time to shine, your time to rise above, and your time to become. And that is something that I tell myself every single day. As a matter of fact, not only do I tell myself, but I'm a firm believer of actually making a recording. And it's so interesting because I talked to someone about this earlier who mentioned that they learned that someone else does the same thing. They record. And when they're going through those tough times, they're able to hear themselves and really empower themselves through their own message. So I say to you today, because I've done this many times. I continue to utilize this. I think it's a powerful tool. It's powerful to hear you empower yourself. And so I encourage you to write out a message to yourself of becoming. Write out your becoming message and record it and then listen to it in those times where you feel like, oh my gosh, you know what? I don't know if I can't become anyone, anything because of XYZ. Today is just not the day. Because I know we have those days, we have those times. But let me tell you something, my friend. It is time for you to embrace your next chapter. And maybe your next chapter is not related to, you turning another year older. Maybe your next chapter is you stepping into a new job or writing a book or, getting divorced and getting remarried. I don't know what your chapter is, but understand this, because as we step into our next, it's not about the past. So understand that your past does not define you. Your present empowers you, and your future awaits your greatness. Keep pushing, keep believing, and never, never, never stop becoming the amazing person you were meant to be, because the world is ready for you to shine. The world is ready for you to shine. So I truly hope that as we embrace, as we celebrate, because I'm going to be celebrating, and as we just truly just learn to say, you know what, I need to reflect, that you were able to take some, pull some of some insights and some aha moments from today's, pod. I truly am looking forward to this next chapter and what it brings from the standpoint of the show Empower Hour with Jaresha, what it brings from the standpoint of my coaching business, Empower on Purpose, from the broadcast and Vision Broadcasting, what it brings from the community that I am, building, which is the Boss CEO community, what it brings from the book that I am launching, the unlocking your maximum potential, the 30-day devotional for the Boss CEO. I truly am looking forward to what this next chapter brings for my family, my friends, my business partners, for you that's listening. Know that, as I said from the very beginning, that I believe that you are created for greatness. You have the power to be great, have great, and do great. You just have to be willing to unleash your greatness and take action. So I am celebrating this next chapter, and I hope that you will celebrate with me as we go on this journey. So until next time, stay safe and be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Hour with Jaresha, where Jaresha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journey in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to your best self. Follow Jaresha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaresha Moore, and visit www.empoweronpurpose.com. Remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.